How's it going, everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. So today we're going to be talking about some immigration, right? It seems to be the hot button issue going on within our society today, and we have some new stuff unfolding in terms of squatters, in terms of the buses going to New York City and Chicago and all these other places, and yeah, we're going to be talking about that. All right, but I appreciate you guys stopping by, man. I'm able to record standalone videos again. Good times, good times. Let's go ahead and get into this. All right, here we go, guys.
New York City has and will continue to do our part to manage this humanitarian crisis. But we cannot bear the cost of reckless political ploys from the state of Texas alone. Today, our administration filed a lawsuit against 17 companies that have taken part in Texas Governor Greg Abbott's scheme to transport tens of thousands of migrants to New York City in an attempt to overwhelm our social services system. These companies have violated state law by not paying the cost of caring for these migrants. And that's why we are suing to recoup approximately $700 million already spent to care for migrants bused here in the last 2 years by the state of Texas. Governor Abbott's continuing use of migrants as political pawns is not only chaotic and inhumane, but makes clear he puts politics over people. Today's lawsuit should serve as a warning to all those who break the law in this way.
Wow. So that's coming out of New York City. Mayor Eric Adams is basically decided to finally retaliate against not even Texas themselves, but against the private companies, because of course, you know, that's the way that they do it. They go after private individuals because that's the easier fish for them to go after. And basically, Mayor Eric Adams has decided to sue 17 different busing companies for a total of $700 million. And he says it's in order to recoup a lot of the costs that have been associated with housing. I think he claims that they've bused 33,000 migrants into New York City, and basically he's complaining about the cost because, of course, they're not getting any federal any government from the any help from the federal government. And basically the people of New York City are obviously being fed up with it. All right. So these immigrants are in New York City and they are committing a litany of crimes, from beating police to dismembering people and scattering their body parts throughout the city. Not to mention the fact that that individual crime of, murdering 2 people and scattering their body parts throughout the city. The people that are, have been arrested for that were subsequently immediately let go. Because of the fact that New York City has their bail reformed, which basically makes it to where crimes that are deemed not harmful, I guess not harmful to the public, or not generally dangerous to the public, which I really don't see how murder and dismemberment is not a danger to the public. But basically those types of crimes are just kind of a catch and release. They'll give you a court date and hopefully you show up, right? So all these types of things are weighing heavily on New York City. And of course, Mayor Eric Adams is going after the small fish in order to try and save face and try and, of course, it's election season. I don't know, really just people in general are getting fed up with New York. We see, what is it, fucking Mark Levin, basically trying to talk some sense into CNN, trying to basically tell them that this is bad. Like this is a bad call. This is bad all around. This is bad for business. Leave Donald Trump out of it. Forget the person that they're going after. Just the fact that they're going after anybody in general for these types of what can only be classified as cruel and unusual forms of punishment, right? Basically the punishment does not fit the crime, not to mention the fact that this is all being enforced completely arbitrarily, and it's a clear example of differential enforcement, right? Of course, stuff that, trying to inflate the value of your asset in order to get a higher loan, that's a very common business practice, especially in places like New York. Not to mention the fact that it is on the banks to do their due diligence, and in order to go and inspect that house and or that asset, appraise it, and give them what they believe the proper price should be. Right? It's a very common thing. Right? So with them basically making an example out of Donald Trump, there's a couple different things. So one, it sets a type of legal precedent, right? It makes people afraid. Obviously, like I said, this is a very common practice in New York City. And so obviously a lot of people are going to be very weary about doing business in New York City for this very reason, right? Not to mention the fact that it sends a very clear message to anybody that may think about stepping out of line, that may think for a second about challenging the power of the federal government, about challenging the power of the establishment elite. All right. And that's what I believe is the main reason for all of this stuff. Of course, I still hold firm to the fact that, it's most likely to end up backfiring. I still think that, Trump can win. I still think Trump could win the election, and in which case, he could go ahead and fix a lot of this corruption and a lot of this clear perversion of the rule of law. All right. So we got a whole bunch of just, I don't know, garbage going down in New York City. And then on top of that, we've also got people like this coming into a town near you. I don't know where the fuck this dude is, but he's basically saying the whole squatters thing. He's basically telling people about squatters' rights. Let's go ahead and check out the video real quick. I don't even know if I really need the audio. I think it's all in Spanish, but either way, we'll read the subtitles.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no es...
See, I'm wondering how he found out about a law. Somebody clearly had to tell him this, because obviously this person's probably fucking illiterate. I highly doubt that they were very, school focused and very education driven back in their home country. Obviously, there's a reason that they're trying to come over here. They're not seeking asylum from a politically corrupt regime. I mean, the place that they're coming from is more than likely politically corrupt, but the reason that they're politically corrupt is because of the fact that they allow this type of stuff to happen. Is because of the fact that they basically the governments are working in tandem with the gangs, basically, that this person would appear to be a member of. All right, definitely not a Rhodes Scholar, definitely not a Mensa member. He's definitely not going. I guess we're definitely not pulling a brain drain by bringing this shit back over here, right?
Está habitada. Podemos expropiarla. Capichi? Muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno.
See, a lot of the stuff he's saying doesn't make sense. What is it like? What does it say? In the United States also applies the of land invasion, and I think that will be my next business is invading homes and
invadir casas abandonadas. Ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el...
Right, so they've already taken 7 houses, right? And he says, as the saying goes, Daddy, it's about the return, and the return right now is to invade the houses, since we are not in a street situation. And again, a lot of this stuff doesn't necessarily make sense. We have the way we have to not live in the streets and not be a public burden. I think this picture right here says it all. It's pretty much just labeled, right? That's not subtitles. That's a fucking label right there. You are a public burden. You are a public burden. Matter of fact, you are a public detriment. Right? You are, to steal a term that's been going around lately, poisoning the blood of the American people. You are literally destroying this country with your existence in this land. All right? You don't belong here. Nobody wants you here. And I mean, ultimately, some people do want them here. You know, Democrats definitely want them here as long as they vote blue, no matter who, right? I honestly don't think this person is necessarily too concerned about, you know, making sure that Joe Biden stays elected, right? He's basically already here. He's not going to go back through the court process, so he doesn't necessarily matter. He's already made it over here, right? The physical barrier that's stopping him from getting from his shithole country into America has already been crossed, right? He's already crossed the fucking Rubicon. And not to mention the fact that there's millions of people just like this shitbag right here that are already in the country. All right. It's definitely going to get worse before it gets better. All right. I guess the only positive thing is a lot of people are starting to be, made aware of the impending disastrous situation that's unfolding here in America due to the policies of the Biden administration, right? That cannot be played off. They can't pass the buck any farther, right? They can't, continue to do the Republicans, they refused to pass the border bill. We tried to put the border security bill before them, and they went ahead and decided not to pass it. Okay. Well, if you actually look into the bill and does not just, look at the propaganda, right? The bill would have basically granted blanket amnesty to all of these people and basically perpetuated the problem of illegal immigration. The only reason that it would not have been illegal immigration anymore is because of the fact that they wouldn't have made it illegal, right? That's how they were going to stop the illegal immigration, is by making it fucking legal. So, I mean, ultimately, it's propaganda, it's mind games, it's clear corruption. I mean, that's basically the policy that we are living through here in America. This is the new norm. All right. It's like I said, it's really time to basically play their own game. All right. The big problem with all of this is the fact that these people are going to be counted within the census, right? They're going to be counted in the census. That's where the real issue lies, is the fact that would grant more congressional seats to certain districts where a lot of these immigrants are going. And that now includes places like New York City, Chicago, all these other sanctuary cities where they've been busing migrants are now going to get extra congressional seats, which, they may not be able to vote, but voting does not necessarily, the individual vote is not necessarily what counts. It's basically the counties. It's winning the districts. It's winning the electoral college. All right. That's where you actually win. All right. So here in Arizona, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. This is actually one of my posts. All right. So, in case you were wondering, yes, Arizona is allowing illegals to vote in the 2024 election. All right. So this was actually something that I got sent in the mail today. All right. And this, just so you guys know, I'm a registered voter. I'm already registered, but it basically came accompanied with a note saying, "Oh, we realize that somebody at your residence is not registered to vote." Right? It's obviously not true. They're basically just sending all this bullshit out to tons and tons of people and hoping they could just get everybody to fucking vote without thinking about it. Right? So, in terms of proof of citizenship, right? Proof of citizenship requirement. To be eligible to vote a, quote, full ballot, you must submit proof of citizenship with your registration form or by 5 p.m. on the Thursday before Election Day. A, quote, full ballot includes all federal, state, county, and local races and ballot questions for which you are eligible to vote, right? So that's basically all of our local legislatures. That's why Arizona has a very, very conservative state legislature. All right. That's why we have the freedom teams down here in Arizona. That's basically the only people that are keeping us afloat, that are keeping us, safe here in Arizona, is, the fact that we have a strong Republican legislature. And that is for this reason right here. It's because illegal immigrants are not allowed to vote in local state elections. However, they can still vote in federal elections, right? So let's see. If you do not submit proof of citizenship, and we cannot acquire your proof of citizenship from the Arizona Motor Vehicle Division or the statewide voter registration database, you will receive a federal-only ballot, which has only federal races and no state, county, or local races or initiatives or referendums. All right? So, again, federal only. That means that they are going to be allowed to vote in the federal election. Who is included in that federal election? Well, that is going to be people like Joe Biden. right? That's basically going to be, they get to vote on who becomes president. I was looking into it, but I can't quite find yet. I'll probably have to, ask some questions to my local legislatures as to whether or not a federal only ballot does also include the state senators as well as congressmen, seeing as they work within the federal government, not necessarily within the state legislature. So I'm not sure if that would include them, but again, that could explain a whole lot as to why we are a purple state, right? We have a strong, well, I mean, really shit, we're a blue state right now, but usually we're a purple state, right? Again, within the local legislature, we're mostly conservative, but still, where it actually counts, for the safety of the rest of our country, we are going to have illegal immigrants deciding who the next president of the United States is going to be. That's the entire reason for all of this. That is the entire reason why Joe Biden is allowing all of this to happen. That's the entire reason why Joe Biden is perpetrating all of this, right? Man, absolutely fucking insane shit. But this is the world that we live in today, right? This is what the reality is. And the reality is that our government is corrupt. The reality is that Donald Trump was never supposed to happen. The reality is that elections aren't real. You don't actually get to choose who runs the country. That has been pre-chosen and planned out several presidents in a row, right? Donald Trump is an anomaly that was never supposed to happen. That's why they laughed him off all throughout the 2016 election. They laughed him off. It's never going to happen. He's never going to become president. Well, he did. And basically he has brought about he's attempted to bring about the reform that this country needs, right? He's attempted to drain the swamp. I guess not necessarily attempted to drain the swamp yet. That's still to be decided in 2024. So far, with his previous presidency, he pretty much, discovered the swamp. He pretty much, discovered that the majority of people within government are absolutely corrupt. They pocket shit. They take ridiculous bribes. They're bought and sold like a commodity, right? That's why no actual businessmen, of Donald Trump's caliber would generally get into politics. Politics is a waste of time. Politics is quite literally beneath the oligarchical elitist class that we have running our country, that we have actually running our country, right? The people that are elected in office, those people are literally puppets with donor hands up their ass telling them what to say, what to vote on, what laws to pass. I wouldn't doubt it if some people that were sitting in boardrooms and shit like that were actually drafting up legislation to go ahead and just have a one of their bought and paid for congressmen or senators to go ahead and bring to the floor, right? I wouldn't doubt it if the laws were not actually even written by anybody within our government. I wouldn't doubt it if our laws were actually written by this oligarchical system that basically is working their actual coup d'etat right now. That's what this is. They're trying to overload our system. They're trying to gain extra congressional seats, which is basically going to make them absolutely bulletproof. It's going to give them a supermajority in every single chamber, including the presidency. We would be under a one-party rule here in America. Anything that they say goes. And as we see right now, these people are completely unhinged. They are lunatics. They do not care about this country. They do not care about the philosophy that this country is built on. They don't care about what this country is become. They don't care about where this country is going. Basically, all these people are doing right now is they are quite literally trying to destroy this country. They're trying to burn this country to the ground so that way they may continue to reign over the ashes. Or they can fucking, load up all the jewels on the ship, and then they're going to go fucking jump ship, and they're going to go have a nice executive job somewhere in fucking China, or they're going to be sitting on a boardroom of a major gas companies in foreign countries and shit like that. All right. These people do not give a shit. These people do not give a shit. Matter of fact, they more than likely hate you. They more than likely definitely hate me. But the truth is, this country, I hate to say it, it's doomed. It's doomed. I've been trying to think every single way that I can And I do not see a way out of this. I've been saying it. I've really been saying it the entire last, year or, year and a half even. But this country is going to collapse. It's imminent and it's unavoidable at this point. It's gone too far. I mean, where do we start? Do you want to start? You want to talk about Epstein? You want to talk about the perversion of justice? You want to talk about basically the United States government, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, essentially framing half of the country, basically making out people that believe in Donald Trump's presidency to be terrorists, right? We have everything from Joe Biden, the Biden crime family. Where do you want to start? This country is so far down the road that I don't see a way out. Okay, and you could say, Trump could get into office and then he's going to turn all of this around, right? There's so much on this plate. Shit, fucking $34 trillion in debt and growing by the second. Like, this country is fucked. Not to mention we're being expelled out of multiple diplomatic embassies all throughout the world. I think we're up to like 7 now that we've been expelled from since Joe Biden's took office. All right. Nigeria just being the most recent one. Yeah, this is not a good situation. And it's not just like watch my show, black pill, everybody, everybody be afraid. Like, no, like seriously, this is fucked. This is very, very, very bad. Like, this is bad. Like, this is a major event in human history. And like I say, I don't see a way out of this. I see collapse is imminent, and it's it seems unavoidable at this point. All right, let's think of some scenarios, right? So Donald Trump gets into office. He goes ahead and, maybe even give him the fact that the optics of shipping out millions of illegal immigrants back to their home countries, doesn't look like it isn't made out to be a new Holocaust, because of the fact that that's the major issue on the minds of all Americans right now is immigration. It's rampant immigration, not even the economy, right? The economy, again, that's just another entire fucking full course meal that Donald Trump is going to have to try and wolf down while he's in office. All the while still having these elitist, oligarchical, fucking psychopathic ideologues trying to destroy him every single step of the way, right? Antifa is going to be running fucking rampant again through your cities. It's going to be complete chaos. It's going to be complete bedlam. Doesn't matter that Donald Trump, even if Donald Trump wins by a lot, the people that are against Donald Trump are psychopaths. They are insane. They do not value human life. They literally hate the fact that human beings exist. They hate themselves. They are the most hateful people that have ever existed in human history. And of course, that's my opinion. I mean, I'm sure there's, lots more examples you can compare to, but the people right now are so brainwashed that they cannot think rationally at all. Like, at all. All right. We're starting to see, Ana Kasparian basically make a turnaround, but at this point, I mean, it's too far gone. Even if the majority of the country were to wake up tomorrow, boom, just like that, and start realizing, wait a minute. So Joe Biden did the exact same thing that Donald Trump did with classified documents, except Joe Biden, we'll get into the details and all that type of stuff, but, and Joe Biden's not being charged because he's an incompetent old man, but yet he's running our country. Like, there's so many different things that you could point out to him. All right, the bloodbath thing, that was the most recent, blatant propaganda that was immediately called out by the public. Right. Basically, they tried to say that Donald Trump, he's giving a speech, and he basically referred to if he doesn't get elected, that the auto industry is going to get shipped off to all these different places, China, Mexico, and basically that Donald Trump is going to impose massive 100% tariffs if the local manufacturers move their manufacturing plants overseas. All right. And of course, he's basically said that if he doesn't get elected, that is going to be a bloodbath for the auto industry, right? Factories are going to be shut down. America is basically going to lose our auto industry altogether, right? Of course, mainstream media immediately turned right back around. he's calling for a bloodbath. He's saying that he wants to exact a bloodbath. Definitely, he's gonna do it. He says he's gonna do it. We should believe him, guys. Like, it's clear, blatant propaganda that got called out, and they even tried to backtrack. Like, no, we weren't saying that. And then other fucking mainstream news organizations doubled down and basically like, oh, yeah, actually, if you look at it with the actual full context, that makes it even worse. Like, these people are absolutely insane. They, like I said, they're incapable of thinking rationally, and they are complete fucking psychopaths. That's what we're up against. All right, now, dude, again, I guess we do have the inertia of that which is good. You know, I guess we do have the inertia of being on the side of truth and goodness, right? And we always like to tell ourselves, you know, that's how all these hero stories go, that, you know, truth and goodness and honor and, you know, what is right wins out every time, right? The good guys always fucking win. Don't worry about it, you guys. That's not always the case, you know? No, that's not always the case. It's really just whoever wins calls themselves the good guys, right? It really, this, like I said, this point is pivotal right now. In 40 years, we're going to be looking back on this moment, and it is going to be etched in concrete what's happening right now, right? The one side is going to be declared the clear victor, and the other side is going to be declared the clear loser, right? It's either going to go, the federal government basically stopped a madman's attempt to overthrow the government and basically, you know, announce himself president for life. And he basically had an entire army of nationalists that he was trying to, of racist Christian nationalists that he was trying to overthrow the government in order to expel all the illegal immigrants, and you know, basically anybody that's not white isn't allowed to be here, and blah blah blah, white supremacy, you know, whatever. It's either going to go down in the history books as that, or it's going to go down as basically the clear clear exposure of government corruption within the United States. It's basically this beacon of freedom, this beacon of democracy, and you know, basically liberty and justice for all. It was all a lie. That's basically what is going to be the one of two stories, right? So I don't necessarily know. I mean, if you look back, I mean, really, it's not too, I guess, too common that the actual moralists win, right? Because when you actually think about it, the moralists are really the people that are bound by some sort of rule, are bound by some sort of honor, some sort of sense of duty, some sort of sense of right and wrong, right? That's not the case with the opposition, right? The opposition basically sees victory as the only true good. If you win, then you can tell people that your fight was noble, right? You can tell people that all of the subversion was for a good cause. It was for the greater good, right? And people will be none the wiser. People will eat it up. People will, yeah, that evil Donald Trump. I can't believe that we let her. If I had a time machine, I would go back and I'd kill baby Donald Trump. Like, we're going to have those people. It's either going to go one of two ways. Either Donald Trump single-handedly saved this nation, right? Saved democracy, saved America, saved the ideas of freedom, liberty, and justice for all. Or it's going to be the triumph story of when the American people is basically going to be Lincoln Part 2, right? When they quashed the rebellion, right? And they made these United States. And yeah. In reality, it's when they abolish states' rights. Like, you know, like I say, history is written by the victors, and it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be intense, to say the least. But I appreciate you guys stopping by here, checking out the show, hanging out, you know, commenting in the comments section. I really appreciate those comments and all that shit. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video out with your friends. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys would like to buy some of these shirts here, I got this one. I got the other you know, Maine Liberty Bowl logo. I got these cups here. Definitely, you know, not modeled after any particular person that you may know, just some random zombie people. Yeah, links are in the description below. Go ahead and check out my eBay store. Yeah, that being said, appreciate all you guys for stopping by. I'm glad I'm able to start making standalone videos again now that I got OBS recorder working again. But that being said, appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share. Fuck off.